All right, so this was our class notes for today. It's called We Do, You Do, guideline number 4. So I'm going to do all the odd problems, and we're only working on this first page, and then you guys are going to do the even problems, and that's your practice. So let's look at number 1. Draw my balance bar. I got a little checklist over on the right here. Is there parentheses in this problem? No, there are not. Can we combine like terms over here? No, we cannot. Is the variable on one side? Yes, it is. Now it's time to isolate the variable, which means we have to figure out what's the constant and what's the coefficient. So we're looking at this side with our variable. This 12 is a constant, and then there's no coefficient, so we don't have to worry about that. So our options say to either add or subtract a constant. Well, we're trying to get the variable alone, which means we have to do the opposite of what we see happening there. So that means we have to subtract that 12 on both sides. It cancels so that I can get my v alone. That is our goal. And then negative 2 minus 12 is negative 14. And there we go, we are done. Looking at number 3 here, I'm going to draw my balance bar. And I'm going to start going through. No parentheses. We can't combine like terms on this side. The variable's only on one side, which is good. Now it's time to isolate, which means we have to look for a constant or a coefficient. Well, this 15 is a constant, and then there's no coefficient in front of our variable, so we don't have to worry about that. So we are going to subtract that 15 on both sides because it's adding. We have to do the opposite to move it, right? Think of it like Darth Vader and going to the dark side, which leaves us with just the p equals, and then 28 minus 15 gives us 13. Okay? Variables isolated, we have done our job. Let's look at number 5. So we'll draw our balance bar again. This leaves us, let's do our checklist, sorry. Parentheses, no. Combine like terms on this side of our equation? Variable on one side? Sure is. Time to isolate. So we got to figure out if we got a constant or coefficient. Well, in this case, it is like attached to our letters. So this is going to be a coefficient. Okay, so coefficients are like a variable lover, which is such a bad thing to say. But a constant is more like a best friend, right? Because see how the constant's like with the variable on this side over here, but not attached to them, versus like a coefficient's attached. Maybe lover is not a good word. A variable BF or GF, right? Depending on how you want to describe it. So, our only options are to multiply or divide to get rid of a coefficient. Well, our coefficient here is technically dividing because of that fraction bar. So we're going to multiply by 20 on both sides. And what you do on one side, you do on the other. The 20s go away because one's multiplying, one's dividing, so they cancel out. And then 20 times 3, negative 3, is a negative 60. Looking at 17, draw my balance bar. No parentheses, no combining like terms. The variable is totally on one side. Looking at our variable, do we have a constant or a coefficient? Well, this is going to be a coefficient because it's in front. It is not a constant. If it was a constant, it would have looked like x minus 17. But it's not. That number is right in front of our letter, so that is a coefficient. That is the variable's boyfriend or girlfriend. It's no constants. So we're going to get rid of this coefficient, and our only options are to multiply or divide. But right here, if a number is right in front of a letter, that is secret multiplication, which means we are going to divide by that negative 17 on both sides. Don't forget to divide the sign. The sign doesn't change when you multiply or divide, or else it doesn't cancel. And this would give us x equals negative 3, because 51 divided by negative 17 is a negative 3. So I want you to pause this video, and I want you to try 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I'm even going to give you the answers that you should get, but I want you to show me your work. So number 2, you should get v equals 6. Number 4, you should get k equals negative 12. X should equal negative 21. I'm sorry, 6 should equal x number 21. And then number 8 should be x equals negative 6. Show me your work. Don't just give me an answer. Show me what you did. If you give me an answer, great. That's what I gave you. Show me how you get that. Let's look at 9 and 10. Number 9. Okay, so draw my balance bar. And again, we're always looking at the side with our with our variable. There's no parentheses. We can't combine like terms here. The variable is only on that one side. So now we got to find the constant coefficient. Negative 10 is our constant. It's the best friend with the variable, but 6 is the boyfriend or girlfriend. So that's the coefficient. And we always first want to get rid of our constants. So we either add or subtract. So looking at this 10 here, it says minus 10 in front of it. So we're going to add that 10 on both sides. This leaves us with r over negative 6 equals 1. Get rid of the coefficient. Our options are to multiply or divide. Well, this fraction bar means division, so we're going to multiply that negative 6 on both sides. And we have to multiply by a negative 6 so we can totally get rid of it. This leaves us with r equals negative 6, because negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Number 11 here. Let's go through our list, looking at our variable side. There's no parentheses. We can't combine like terms. The variable is totally on one side. Now we got to find our constant and coefficient. So looking at our variable side, the constant is negative 4. That's only the best friend with our variable. But the coefficient is the number attached, which is the boyfriend of the variable, or the girlfriend, sorry. So get rid of the constant first. We got to move that guy, either add or subtract. Well, we see a minus 4, so we are going to add 4. This leaves us with 7a equals negative 105. Negative 109 plus 4 is negative 105. Then it says to multiply or divide to get rid of our coefficient. So we have secret multiplication happening here. So we divide that 7 on both sides to cancel it out, get rid of it. A is finally alone because it doesn't like numbers with it, which gives us a negative 15. I want you to do 10 and 12 on your own. 10, you should get a final answer of x equals negative 6. And 12, you should get a final answer of n equals negative 10. Show me your work. Don't show me just the answer. That's great. I can give you an answer, but you need to show me how you get there. Okay? And then don't forget to do your homework. Your homework's called More Practice from the same day. The number of problems you have to do depends on your class. You should be able to see how many you have to do in your Google Classroom. Have a good day, everyone.